Now the Gemara asks a question. How do I know that this verse in Vayikra, that the sun comes and sets, and then he's pure, so we know that what's required for the Kohen to eat his truma is the evening, the night setting in, and not his bringing his kapara, his sacrifice. Umimai, from where do we know the hay uba hashemesh, bias hashemesh? Where do we know that the coming of the sun means that the sun is setting? V'hay v'tar, tar, and becoming pure is tar. Yoma dilma bias oirehu. Maybe it means morning coming. Who says that the sun coming means evening? Maybe it's morning.
Oh, that's what it says. That's what the
verse says. That's the question. Let me make sure that that's the question. Who says that it's the conclusion of the sun in the evening? Rashi says maybe it means morning, that you have to wait till morning till the priest could eat their truma. Dilma bias oirai. Maybe it's yara shemesh b'yom hashmini, the 8th day. Maybe it's the morning of the 8th day, and then he becomes pure by bringing his sacrifice. So the Gemara is now asking about this whole idea, this whole law that we just said the Mishnah wants to teach us 2 laws. That Shema is when the stars come out, and that also the Kohen can eat his teruma when the stars come out, when the night comes, even without doing a sacrifice. Who says that is true? Maybe the verse means that the sun has to come up in the morning, it has to be day, and he has to bring a sacrifice, and then he's pure. So who told you this law that you're saying the Mishnah is coming to teach us here? That by night you can already eat truma, you don't need to wait to bring the sacrifices on the 8th day. Maybe it means that the sun comes up in the morning, it's the 8th day, you bring your sacrifices, and then you're pure, and then you could eat truma by bringing his sacrifice.
Sacrifices never make a person tahor. Only
but it's talking about maybe the conclusion of the Torah process is by his action of the sacrifice. The question is, does he bring the sacrifice because he's already tahor and therefore he could bring the sacrifice, or because or a final part of the tahara process is the sacrifice?
I think the sacrifice comes after you tahor.
That's
you have to be pure.
That's what the Talmud's going to say.
And this,
the Talmud's going to say that if it's according to what you're saying now, that it means the sun comes up in the morning, and then you have to go, the person has to go and bring the sacrifice. It should say yitaher. If it's a commandment on the person, go become pure by bringing your sacrifice. The verse should have said, Uba Hashemesh ve'yitaher. He should go make himself pure by bringing the sacrifice. Since it says v'taher, and he becomes pure, it means automatically you become pure. That's what, as people say, I'arav shimsha va'ad kayayma. Let us hear the translation of that from the Art Scroll.
Sorry,
as people say, to the Amri Inchi.
As people. A person. You mean the person should make himself tahor?
Yeah.
By offering a sacrifice. That's the verse will be teaching the Kohen may eat teruma only after he offers his atonement offering.
Right. Go on.
And then then that's kind of the inevitable part. Then,
okay, go
then
on.
It goes to Rabbah, then it goes to just the next part.
Right, go on. We're missing one more line there.
You mean Amar Rabbah Bar?
Here, this line.
Oh, oops,
as people say, the sun has set and the day has passed.
Okay.
Footnote?
The footnote, the Aramaic word, idaki, is that it?
Idaki, yeah.
Idaki is a translation of the Hebrew word taher, both of which have the literal meaning of purified or cleansed. The Gemara points to this common expression as support for the view that the word vitaher in the verse is an idiomatic expression for the complete passing of the day.
The passing of the day. Very nice. So that is how we know that it's the evening and not the morning. If it meant the morning, that the morning has to come, the light has to come out, it should have said yitaher, you should go after bring a sacrifice. What it means is, and this is what the Mishnah is trying to tell us here in passing, that the time for the Shema is when the stars come out in the evening. And when is that? Another thing you should know, that the Kohanim did not have to wait till they bring the sacrifice the next day as soon as the sun set, as we know from the verse in Leviticus, Uba Hashemesh v'tara, the sun comes, meaning the day completely passes, as people say, and that is the same root as the word v'taher. That's the. Now we finished a. No, we didn't finish. goes on. Piece goes on. We didn't continue. We didn't conclude yet. It says in Israel they didn't know of this idea of Rabbi Bar Shila, and they also discussed this verse. They didn't know what the verse meant here. The sun sets in the evening, and then he's automatically, or the sun comes in the morning up and it's light, and he has to bring a sacrifice, and then he's pure. We didn't know.
But Ra Hashem, it sounds like the sun's coming. It's like,
And how did they learn it? They learned it from this saying. That's why the Mishnah has to tell us this here. We would not know this. From this saying here about Shema, that it's the time when the stars go out, they knew that it's the evening. Because here, this is why the Tana had to bring this in and say it in such a way about the Shema. Because it was so complicated, we really didn't know what this verse in Leviticus meant about Kohanim eating Truma. So that is the big idea that the first Mishnah in the Talmud is explaining us in passing, that verse in Leviticus means sun setting, the time of the stars going out.